Chambersburg Mayor Brown, Town Council President Alan Coffman in our studios this morning. I want to talk about light jumping down here.
Yes, I didn't understand what you meant.
Well, listen, it's 11 and 30 at the fountain.
Yes.
People are running that light like crazy. I think you've got to set up a court and set up somebody to take cash because it's getting to be too much.
Well, and that's been brought up before, and I talked to the chief of police, and he's had people there, officers there to watch it, and
put some unmarked on there.
I guess that we do have two unmarked vehicles for the canines. So actually, you brought up the canines earlier in the week. There was an issue where we did have a motorcycle police officer sort of hiding between the courthouse and another building, and that way he was able to come out and spot people. So that might be an option.
Bring it on. It's getting to be a little bit too much. I walk the street pretty regularly, and I'm guilty if it's a long yellow. But I mean, these are blatant. After the red is certainly hit, there's a break between it, and then you're still watching cars continue through. So there you go. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Talk to me about the foot patrol with the canine too. I saw a shepherd with a police officer up and down. That's nice.
Now, did you see the shepherd with the officer doing foot patrol?
It wasn't just roaming around by itself.
Well, no, I didn't know if you saw it. Because,
sorry, Mr. Mayor. I had to take that one.
Well, what I mean is the two officers that have the dogs, one is a corporal, one is a sergeant. And so I wasn't sure if the corporals and the sergeants did foot patrols because, they're sort of overseeing all the other officers.
No, but it was just a police officer. I saw an officer. I don't know what rank he was, and a dog.
Okay.
So that's it.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that for actual foot patrol. I mean, the dogs are very useful. They're very useful for sniffing out material, whether it could be drugs, whether it could be finding a person. Also, the dogs are intimidating. So there have been situations where they come up to a hostile situation and I'm not coming out or whatever. We're gonna send in the dog. I'm coming out.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm not messing with a shepherd.
No.
Lab will lick me to death. A shepherd, that's a whole other story.
That dog bark. We have two dogs. We have Ronan and we have Jigs. Now, Ronan and Jigs, two completely different personalities. Ronan, well, when he's with his master, now you got to be careful with dogs in general, but Ronan is so lovable of a dog. I mean, I've been with his master and him, and the dog just comes up and wants to lick you and love you. Jigs, forget about it. No one gets close to the dog except for his master.
Okay, then. All right. And do they wear big signs on their chest that I can see which one's Ronan and which one's Jigs,
No.
so I can stay away from Jigs?
Just everybody be scared of every dog.
But they both wear a badge, right, Mayor?
They have like a vest. It's basically their uniform in a sense. Then the dogs know that when they have it off at home, it's playtime. It's family time.
Okay.
They're part of the family. When they have their vest on, it's work time.
Okay, very good. Let's talk about the rules on guys and gals standing on street corners with the going out of business signs, and also the pollution that is being placed in the city of these signs. They're like political signs. You see them just jammed into particular lawns, or I don't know, maybe it's in front of particular businesses. You just see that they look like political signs, and then you see the actual people standing next to them. What's the rules or on this? It's like right on Lincoln Way East. You come right off the exit on Lincoln Way. There you got the whole bunch of signs jammed in front of the, what is that, the 4 points, right?
Yeah.
So the signs are jammed in there. Then you got people standing in the corner there.
Yeah. Well, I'll address the signs first.
Thank you,
because
mister.
that's an issue here. Anything that's positioned between the sidewalk and the street is in the public right of way and can be removed.
Oh, I could go over there and just
pull
them out.
You can take it out. I can take it out. The mayor can take it out.
Okay.
Borough employees can take them out. They should disappear.
All right.
If it's on the inner side toward what would be the building or the house side of the sidewalk, they're probably on private property and they are allowable.
Okay.
Now, I'll defer on the people with the signs.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that one to the mayor as an enforcement issue and where that falls under loitering or if it doesn't, and we might have to continue that conversation.
Probably
but the
not.
signs on the outer side
of the sidewalk. Fair game.
Fair game.
Rip them right out.
It's fair game.
All right.
Yeah, now I did ask the chief of police before about protesters. It's a little bit of a different situation, but people with the signs. And he said, well, as long as they're not blocking other people from walking, and pretty much as long as they're walking, because then it becomes a different situation if they're just sort of standing there. And these people on the corner that you're talking about are just standing there. They're standing there on the corner.
Look, I don't want it to be a police state. I'm just
No,
curious.
no, no.
I'm just asking the question. That's all. I'm all for freedom of speech. Take it easy if you're driving along, getting your hair in a dander here. I was just curious. That's all.
Well, even if we're going to the issue of protesters here in Chambersburg, the protesting here is so peaceful. I mean, it's like someone standing there with a sign and it just says "pay for education" or something. I don't know. And like if they're in someone's way, they stand back like, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me." And it's
the casual
the
casual
protest here
protesters.
is not like Ferguson.
All right.
Totally different.
All right, new topic then. It's going to be a hard one for you guys to answer. You throw pebbles during the wintertime, and I know you say that there's folks that do street cleaning, and that happens here. It seems like no matter where I'm driving now, look outside the radio station studios.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a bigger spring project cleanup. Tell me a
I'm
little.
sure there will be.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know when they'll start on the street sweeping thing again. Now that the weather is stabilized here a little bit, I'm sure they'll be back at it.
Okay.
And probably a lot of what's put down here on Main Street has probably been put down by the state, not by the borough. Remember, it's a
Right,
state
that's
highway.
11. Yes, you got me on that one. All right, fair enough.
And I texted the borough manager, and actually I have another text that just came from the borough manager.
Here we go.
About a minute ago.
Is that
But
Jeff?
yes.
Jeff's not coming in?
No. I asked him. He doesn't want to. He wants to stay back behind. He said it's okay if I mention his name that he texted me, but he wants
Skype
to.
him in. We could Skype you in there, Jeff. All right, that's all right.
I asked him about the cinders, or the little stones that are on the road. He said the stones are called either cinder or anti-skid, same thing, and they're actually recycled stone surface which are mixed with salt during the winter to provide traction. Each spring we sweep them all up using the street sweeper. And I said, are the swept up cinders repurposed? And he said, normally they are full of trash from being on the street, so we bring them to the landfill. But if someone wants to grab some, they can call the service center. And the service center is 717-263-4111 if you really want those little cinders.
You just bring a dustpan out and
Yeah,
help
that's
yourself,
true.
for goodness sake. The railroad tracks, this is an important one that run through the city. Is there in the event of a problem, heaven forbid, what's the SOP on that?
My understanding on that, it would be probably called into the Franklin County Emergency Services people, 911. I don't know what the plan is. I'm sure they have a plan.
Sure.
And then they will contact, I'm sure, our emergency services people here in the borough, our fire responders and emergency service people.
Okay.
Really quickly, borough manager texted me, the clearing and signs are outside the right of way and therefore governed by the zoning law for signs on private property. The sales signs that people are holding are illegal as long as they don't block the sidewalks.
Okay, very
There
good.
you
Jeff,
go.
come on in, would you? We're out of time. Thank you, gentlemen.